Today I've got something brand new and also quite old for you. WizKids is doing something very interesting with one of their next booster sets. Return of the Dragons is the 34th Icons of the Realms booster set, and it features all new minis, but not an all new set list. They have taken their very first booster set, Tyranny of Dragons, and kept the set list almost entirely the same while making entirely new minis for each and every slot. What I'm going to do today is show you renders of all the new minis next to our videos from 4 years ago of the original figures. It'll be a short video here today, as you can see by the timeline below me, but we'll cover every last mini. If you do want to see my full set review of that first Tyranny set, I will link it up there in the eye, but do keep in mind that the video is 4 years old, and I sound much more like an NPR host on sleeping medication in that video, so, you know, bear with me and be kind. But for now, let's take an early look at Return of the Dragons. Enhance and improve your 5e games today with Hit Point Press. Explore the whimsical dark carnival setting of Heckna. Will you see through the glitzy charade or fall prey to Heckna's everlasting torment? Or explore the cute but deceptively deep campaign setting of Humblewood, where a new threat imperils the peace between the Humblefolk and the Birdfolk. Add a slew of creative and gorgeously illustrated magical items with the Griffon Saddlebag, and face innovative new bosses each month with their series of big bads. Learn more today at Hit Point Press by using our link in the corner or down below. As we quickly go through all these minis, keep in mind that you are only seeing digital renders of the new figures and not pictures of actual minis. These days, the new figures look closer to the renders than they used to, but they still won't be quite that detailed in real life. When we get the actual minis, we'll show you some actual comparisons. But as you can see, everything is getting updated. I think you'll notice a couple of consistent differences between the old minis and the new ones. For PC and humanoid minis, they're able to make far more detailed faces these days, and it's surprising how much a difference that can make at your table. Check out number 17, the Green Hag, for an example of how far they've come, but you can really see it on all the humanoid minis. You'll notice that most of the new minis have more dynamic poses. It looks like they're right in the middle of the action, rather than standing around and posing for a picture. Check out number 13, the Barbarian, for a good example of that. The cloth and armor on the minis also looks much improved. Cloth drapes realistically over arms and legs, so you can really see the bodies underneath. Hair also flows much more naturally. Of course, the bases have also been updated to the new clear style, but those old minis are still perfectly usable. There are quite a few of these that I still use on a regular basis, and I don't expect to rotate them out in favor of the new ones. I can always add in more bugbears, more kobolds, more goblins, and hags, though the new PC intended minis may be much more desirable to your players, as they really do seem to have a lot of improvements, particularly in the face, as I mentioned earlier. In case you're curious, Elemental Evil was the second Icons of the Realms booster set, and while it's perhaps the least popular 5e adventure, the mini set also included a lot of really desirable and usable minis, including a lot more dragons. So I'll be curious to see if this is a one-off of a revamp of a set, or if eventually we'll see the return of Elemental Evil. And the set includes some highly desirable figures with lots of dragons, there's a Mind Flayer, some great PC minis, some giants, and several other cool things. Two things have changed. The Ballista and the Red Wizard have swapped numbers, so that the Ballista is now an uncommon and the Red Wizard is now rare, and the Human Paladin PC figure has switched with the Doppelganger, so the Doppelganger is now common and the Human Paladin is now uncommon. The original set list topped out at large figures, which was a little bit unfortunate, as it included some figures like the Giants, who should be on huge-sized bases, and it appears that that will continue to be the case, although I am going to check, and if there is a change, I will let you know. Probably the best change in this set, though, is that the new set will feature the new style of flying pegs that you don't have to put together yourself. The old ones were awful, and to this day, I avoid using those minis because I don't want to deal with them. And the set has a large percentage of flying figures. The new set also has a fair number of additional translucent spell effects too. Now, I am not a huge fan of the original Tyranny of Dragons adventure, but it is quite a popular one. It features Tiamat and was the very first 5e adventure. I honestly wouldn't be opposed to Wizards of the Coast doing an updated version of it with their new edition. But this set list is one of the least tied to the actual adventure that WizKids has ever made. There are minis that you can use really just about any D&D campaign in the Forgotten Realms that you want to do, which isn't surprising since it was the very first Icons of the Realm set, so they wanted to hook you up with a lot of the basics. Now, Return of the Dragons is launching in December 2024, and it'll be a standard booster set with booster boxes and bricks and cases. A single box will have 1 large, I think, and 3 mediums or smalls, and there are 44 minis in total. If you have any questions about the set, please let me know in the comment section down below, and also check out our partner, Hit Point Press, for your next great adventure. I recommend Heckna or Humblewood, depending on the vibe you're going for at your table. And we have a new Kobold plush Kickstarter coming soon, featuring new plushies and outfits and customized dice sets for each and every Kobold. Sign up at the link in the corner or down below. And we'll be at Gen Con next week in Indianapolis, along with quite a few of our Clock Tower friends. If you happen to see us around, like at the WizKids or the Hit Point Press booths, please come up and say hi. It's always a real treat for me to see you. Until then, stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I will see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.